Tonight, we're naming the game. Fragile feelings wielded like policy. And what does that mean?
President Trump following through on a number of promises to change U.S. policies on gender and diversity.
Making changes in the military. The orders are expected to ban transgender Americans from serving.
Target rolling back a number of their DEI policies in an announcement today.
President Donald Trump is sending a clear message to corporate America to end diversity, equity, and inclusion policies or face potential legal consequences.
Burning the cities because they feel excluded.
More prisons.
Do you believe there's a difference between women and men?
Inclusion programs are coming under fire now.
The focus on race, first and foremost, has done us no favors.
But if your ideas don't pass the hurtful or harmful test, you should keep your ideas to yourself.
I'm carrying a weapon for a week, hoping to be approached by a black man so he could kill him.
How social media has led in its different stages to increased narcissism, increased emotional suffering.
The problem can never be stated in terms of black and white.
Predominantly white people coming through the business with a certain amount of kind of security in their lives.
DEI should be a lens in which you look at everything that you do.
Have you ever been judged for your appearance or what you look like?
Yes, I have.
I never thought it would become a political tool to really divide this country and really the world.
DEI has turned into a political target. Time to do DEI efforts differently.
%40 of Americans agree that discrimination against white people is as big of a problem as discrimination against blacks and other minorities. The numbers don't lie, but people empowered do. PRRI's national survey that they conducted recently shows 15% completely and 25% mostly agree with the anti-white discrimination and that it is a big problem.
The rewriting of this whole narrative it has such gall.
They even think it's as big of a problem as black and anti-minority discrimination.
Says who?
And this is 40% that net that agreement. But what I want you 40%ers to understand is belief doesn't equal reality, okay? 62% of white Republicans say white people face discrimination. Some of y'all gonna look at that and say, well, majority of black people say that black people face discrimination. First of all, let me break down that there's a difference between discrimination and oppression.
Discrimination. The unfair or prejudicial treatment of a person or group based on certain characteristics.
Discrimination, for example, is like when you go to get a driver's license and they tell you if you are visually impaired, you can't get a driver's license, okay? Some discrimination keeps people safe, but oppression is always bad.
Hell yeah.
Oppression is like if you create a law that says you want to cut every DEI program, even though you don't know what the hell DEI is, and you base retaliation because of your fragility and your identity. That is oppression. It is institutionalized. A recent ruling that restored more than $2.65 billion in Harvard research funding after a political freeze because of their DEI programs. Court said you can't weaponize retaliation. That turbulence isn't just about Harvard. It signals how power responds when equity work gains traction. I can barely spit it out, y'all. When you recenter the dominant group's discomfort and you declare that it's reverse racism, and then you cut budgets, you start hiring, or you muzzle diversity, equity, and inclusion, that's your hurt feelings. That's policy behavior dressed in feelings, okay? And if you empower, you get to express those feelings through policy. Now, BLS shows black people are about 13% of the U.S. labor force, actually 14%, which is about 170 million workers, which equals about 22 million people. Now, remember, unemployment is a point-in-time rate. It's not a running tally, but the direction and the disparity matter. And right now, black women are like the canary in the coal mine, and also black men who have one of the highest unemployment rates among male population.
The cities because they feel excluded.
More prisons.
Do you believe there's a difference between women and men?
Inclusion programs are coming under fire now.
The focus on race, first and foremost has done us no favors.
But if your ideas don't pass the hurtful or harmful test, you should keep your ideas to yourself.
On carrying a weapon for a week, hoping to be approached by a black man so he could kill him.
How social media has led in its different stages to increased narcissism, increased emotional suffering.
The problem can never be stated in terms of black and white.
Predominantly white people coming through the business with a certain amount of kind of security in their lives.
DEI should be a lens in which you look at everything that you do.
Have you ever been judged for your appearance or what you look like?
Yes, I have.
I never thought it would become a political tool to really divide this country and really the world.
DEI has turned into a political target. Time to do DEI efforts differently.
Now, here's how fragility shows up. It shows up as tone policing in meetings. It shows up as not the right time in budget cycles when you hear that from your boss, or the word culture fit when you think about who you hire. Because every company has a culture and maybe some people don't fit into it. So we talk about cultural addition, but also culture fit can be relevant, but not in the face of discrimination because you don't like the way somebody talks.
I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just because you don't like the way another nigga talk.
Culture fit is often based on principles, beliefs, and core values, not on what a person looks like or their identity. When you hear about culture fit or you talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, we've heard more and more about DEI, reverse discrimination, okay? Reverse discrimination is not a thing. If you reverse something, that means you undo it. So go ahead and undo discrimination. Go ahead and undo racism. Go ahead and undo sexism. Nobody wants that more than the marginalized populations who face any of the isms and or phobias that y'all love to perpetuate based on fragility and punish based on fragility. And when you believe that your losing status isn't the same as being structurally disadvantaged, we have to move from a space of vibes to verification. Because yeah, you may not like the vibe of something, but let's verify what's really happening in our workplaces and in our different industries, all right? I want to talk about doing the work and not just talking the talk. That means when we talk about doing the work, we have to move to different kinds of lenses that tie fragility to whiteness as an institutional design. There's this exhibit in Vancouver's art gallery called Conceptions of White.
An exhibition that offers context and nuanced perspectives to help grapple with contemporary configurations of white identity.
The show moves through historical works that examine the foundations and origins of whiteness into contemporary artists that grapple with how these acts of racialization have manifested in acts of white supremacy, guilt, and benevolence.
What it talks about is how whiteness operates as a norm, not identity. It's baked into policy defaults, performance rubrics, and whose discomfort gets urgent responses, even baked into your employee handbook. What this exhibit does, the Conceptions of Whiteness, is it interrogates whiteness as a constructed category that ranks civility and humanity and creates a blueprint that is protected by fragility. One thing that I find is that we need to start creating what I call escalation maps. What does that mean? That means when fragility appears, what decision does it try to delay, and who has authority to proceed anyway? And once we create escalation maps and we understand how to address that in our community, we'll start to understand more about how to vote in our community, okay? So escalation maps, for example, means that when you see areas where white fragility has started to show itself prominently,
I'm scared to even approach her.
that means that it's time for us to start to mark those places, understand those districts, etc., and get more involved in voting, because we got to get rid of people who do that kind of shit. I want you to start to ask people for comparative data and decision criteria. Because if they don't have no data, then they don't get to derail your conversation, and that data can be anecdotal. We want to understand how you are being oppressed, how you are facing reverse oppression and discrimination, because it's stupid. Now, I also want you to name it. Label the move that sounds like a recentering. We're staying with the equity gap and the fix. We choose a remedy today. Feelings can be processed, outcomes Can't wait though, okay? Also publish it. Executive level leaders commit to public DEI dashboards. Y'all need to be looking at salary bands and complaint to resolution SLAs, okay? The next is you need to resource it. Protect the DEI lines like you protect cybersecurity. When funding gets politicized, remember, Harvard, for example, courts notice. Your job is to keep the work moving in some way, shape, or form. We're here to loosen the bolts of power, okay? Especially from this current administration, because a lot of the policies that they are creating are wielded in white supremacy, are wielded in white fragility, and it's feelings that turn into policy with no real data, which is why we get over-consumed and oversaturated with fake news and people spreading lies based on the way that they feel. I'm looking forward to hearing what y'all talk about. Don't forget that I have my documentary DEIing that is airing on October 3rd. It's available for pre-order on September 19th. You can order it on Fandango at home, or if you have Tubi, you can watch it, and it will also be a global release on a number of different platforms. So y'all get ready to check that out. And don't forget my book that's also rooted in the things I talked about in the documentary, DEIing, the goddamn mess that they made of diversity, equity, and inclusion. All right, y'all new around here, come back. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and answer the question, what do you do when leaders start calling out reverse discrimination? Because it's not reverse discrimination. Discrimination is just discrimination, and oppression is just oppression. Different populations and identities face it more so than others, but white people, y'all not leading as the victims of discrimination and oppression. I'm sorry to tell y'all, but that's not how that happens. System was built by you, it's working for you, and is being reiterated by this incompetent executive branch that is currently in office and occupying the White House. I'll talk to y'all soon. Have a great day. I look forward to hearing from y'all and reading y'all comments. Even the ignorant people who come in my comments say the dumbest uninformed things because it's rooted in feeling, not in fact. But again, around here we talk about real shit, not bullshit. So keep that bullshit to yourself. Have a great day.